Hello and welcome to Song Galaxy. My name is Abdisalam, and in today's episode we are going to talk about something many learners either fear, avoid or misunderstand: grammar. Yes, grammar. The rules, the patterns, the structures that guide the English language. Now, you may be wondering, why is grammar so important? Can't I just speak with words and people will understand me? Well, let me tell you this. Words are like the ingredients in cooking, but grammar is the recipe. Without the recipe, you may end up with a mess, even if you have the best ingredients. Grammar is what allows us to take words and organize them in a way that makes sense. It creates order out of chaos. If you say, "I eat yesterday," people might guess what you mean, but it is not correct, and it may confuse some listeners. On the other hand, "I ate yesterday" is clear, accurate, and professional. Let's imagine another situation. You are in a job interview and the employer asks, "Why do you want this job?" If you answer with broken grammar, your intelligence or ability may be judged unfairly. The employer may think you are careless or unprepared. But if you answer with correct grammar, your ideas appear sharp, respectful, and confident. This is the power of grammar. It is not only about following rules, it is about showing clarity, confidence, and respect in communication. Now, let us think about the role of grammar in international communication. English today is spoken by more than 1.5 billion people worldwide. Most of them are not native speakers. This means English is often used between people from completely different cultures who may not share the same background. What makes communication possible in such situations? Grammar. Grammar provides a common ground. It gives us rules that all learners, whether in Asia, Africa, Europe, or America, can follow to ensure mutual understanding. If every person used English in their own way, without grammar, global communication would collapse into confusion. Think of it like traffic rules. If you were driving in a city, imagine if everyone ignored the rules. Some driving on the left, some on the right, some stopping, some not stopping. The result would be chaos and accidents. Grammar works like traffic rules for language. It keeps the flow smooth and prevents misunderstandings. Another point is accuracy in expressing time. English has many tenses, and each one gives us a different meaning. Consider these 3 sentences. I eat breakfast. I am eating breakfast. I have eaten breakfast. All 3 use the same verb, but the time is completely different. The first is a habit, the second is happening now, and the third is finished already. Without grammar, these differences are lost, and your listener may not know what you really mean. Some learners argue that grammar is boring, that it limits creativity, or that native speakers themselves make mistakes. Let us address these points one by one. First, grammar may seem boring when taught only through memorizing rules, but grammar becomes exciting when you see it as a tool. It is like learning how to drive. At first, you must remember the rules: mirrors, signals, gears. But once you master them, you can enjoy the freedom of the open road. Grammar is the same. Once you master it, you can express anything with confidence and creativity. Second, does grammar limit creativity? Absolutely not. In fact, it enables creativity. Imagine a musician who knows nothing about rhythm or scales. They may hit some random notes, but they cannot create a song that moves people. Once they understand the rules, however, they can play beautifully and even bend or break the rules to create unique music. Writers, poets, and speakers do the same with grammar. Third, yes, even native speakers sometimes make mistakes. But this is not an excuse for learners to ignore grammar. If you are learning English as a second language, people expect you to use grammar carefully, because it shows discipline and respect. And remember, not all mistakes are equal. A native speaker may make a small slip, but they have years of instinct to support them. A learner who ignores grammar will quickly lose credibility. Now, let us discuss grammar in professional settings. In business, education, and formal communication, grammar is your best friend. An email full of errors may cause your reader to doubt your seriousness. A report with broken grammar may look unprofessional, no matter how good the ideas are. On the other hand, a message with clean, correct grammar creates trust. Think about diplomacy, international business, and global education. In these areas, people cannot afford to be misunderstood. Grammar ensures that the message is received exactly as intended. For example, there is a big difference between "we will deliver the product" and "we delivered the product." One refers to the future, the other to the past. A single mistake may change the meaning of a contract, a deal, or an agreement. Also, grammar influences how people see you. Good grammar signals that you are educated, careful, and professional. Poor grammar can create the opposite impression. In fact, many surveys have shown that employers and universities pay attention to grammar in applications, interviews, and even social media posts. This is why grammar matters. It is not about being perfect, but about being understood, respected, and taken seriously. Let us finish with some advice. How can you improve your grammar in English? First, focus on practice, not only memorization. Reading, listening, speaking, and writing will naturally expose you to grammar in action. The more you see it, the more natural it will become. Second, do not fear mistakes. Mistakes are part of learning. The goal is not to avoid every single error, but to reduce errors over time and to understand why they happen. Third, pay attention to the patterns of English. Notice how sentences are built. For example, questions in English often invert the subject and the verb. "You are happy" becomes "are you happy?" Once you see the pattern, you can apply it everywhere. Finally, remember that grammar is a journey, not a destination. Even native speakers continue to learn and refine their use of grammar. Treat it as a lifelong companion, not as a punishment. So, why is grammar important in English? Because it gives meaning to your words, power to your ideas, and respect to your communication. It is the invisible structure that holds language together, the key to unlocking opportunities, and the bridge that connects people across cultures. Thank you for listening to Song Galaxy. I am Abdisalam, and I hope today's talk has inspired you to look at grammar not as a barrier, but as a tool for success. Until next time, keep learning, keep practicing, and keep communicating with confidence.